Motion passed.
The Secretary for Security will move two proposed resolutions under the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Ordinance. First motion, to approve the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters, Spain order. Members who wish to speak on the motion will please press the Request to Speak button. I now call upon the Secretary for Security to speak and move the motion. Secretary for Security. President, I move that the motion as printed on the agenda on the resolution to approve the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters, Spain order be passed by this Council. Many crimes are now committed across borders. To tackle cross-border crimes which are on the rise, the international community has to strengthen law enforcement and judicial cooperation. Hong Kong has been actively cooperating with other jurisdictions on criminal matters and seeking to conclude bilateral agreements on mutual legal assistance in criminal matters, or MLA, with other jurisdictions in accordance with Article 96 of the Basic Law to establish strong and comprehensive cooperation relationships. These bilateral agreements provide for reciprocal assistance between Hong Kong and the contracting parties and demonstrate Hong Kong's commitment to the international effort in fighting crimes. The Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Ordinance, the MLA Ordinance, provides a statutory framework for implementing agreements on MLA signed between Hong Kong and other jurisdictions, enabling assistance to be provided to or obtained from foreign jurisdictions in the investigation and prosecution of criminal offences. Such assistance include the taking of evidence, search and seizure, production of material, transfer of persons to give evidence, and confiscation of crime proceeds. Hong Kong has so far signed MLA agreements with 30 foreign jurisdictions, including the MLA agreement signed with Spain in November 2012 and the MLA agreement signed with the Czech Republic in March 2013. Pursuant to the MLA Ordinance, the Chief Executive in Council has made the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Spain order and the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Czech Republic order to implement the two bilateral agreements to enable the MLA Ordinance to be applied as between Hong Kong and Spain, as well as between Hong Kong and the Czech Republic. As the legislation and the arrangements of each jurisdiction on mutual legal assistance in criminal matters vary, it is often necessary for the corresponding order to make modifications to certain provisions of the MLAO to a limited extent in order to reflect the practices of that particular jurisdiction. Such modifications are necessary to enable Hong Kong and the related bilateral parties to discharge their obligations under the respective bilateral agreement. The modifications made for the bilateral agreements between Hong Kong and Spain, as well as between Hong Kong and the Czech Republic, are respectively specified in Schedule 2 to the corresponding order. These modifications do not affect that the two orders substantially conform to the provisions of the MLAO. The subcommittee set up by the Legislative Council has completed its scrutiny of the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Spain order and the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Czech Republic order. I would like to thank the chairman of the subcommittee, Mr. James To, and other members of the subcommittee for giving support to the administration in the submission of the two orders to this Council for approval. The two orders will come into operation on the 30th day after the contracting parties have notified each other that their respective local requirements have been complied with. I will appoint by notices in the Gazette the commencement dates of the orders in accordance with the requirements of the order. I now invite members to approve the making of the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Spain order. I will in a moment move the resolution to approve the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Czech Republic order. Thank you, Mr. President.
I now propose the question to you, and that is that the motion moved by the Secretary for Security be passed. Mr. James To, as Chairman of the Subcommittee on Fugitive Offenders Czech Republic Order, Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Spain Order, and Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Czech Republic Order, I speak on the resolution moved by the Secretary for Security. The Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Spain Order, or the Spain Order, applies to the mutual legal assistance in criminal matters between the Hong Kong SAR government and the government of Spain. It specifies the scope and procedures and the modifications to the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Ordinance, MLAO. Members have noted that Article 3 of the MLA agreement provides for the grounds under which the requested party shall refuse assistance. Such grounds include, quote, an offense of a political character, end of quote, but does not include terrorist offenses. Members have noted that there is no definition of an offense of a political character in Hong Kong law. The administration has explained that when a Hong Kong court has to consider whether an offense is of a political character, it will take into account case law, all the circumstances of the case, the terms of the Mutual Legal Assistance Agreement, which is part of the subsidiary legislation within the parameter of the MLAO. The recent international judicial trend has been to exclude terrorist offenses from, quote, offenses of a political character, end of quote. Some members have also noted that according to Article 3.4 of the Spain Agreement, the requested party may refuse assistance by discretion if the offense is punishable with life imprisonment or carries a prison sentence of undetermined duration. The administration has explained that as Spain always provides a maximum sentence for her offenses, they have requested to add this provision in the agreement to reflect the position under its law. Nevertheless, when Hong Kong makes an assistance request to Spain, which involves offenses that carry a prison sentence of undetermined duration, Hong Kong may explain to Spain the sentence reviewing mechanism under the Long-Term Prison Sentence Review Ordinance, which allows the substitution of an indeterminate sentence of a prisoner by a determinate one for Spain's consideration of whether to invoke the discretionary right of refusal. Article 18 provides for spontaneous submission of information from one party to other party. Members are concerned about the policy towards exchange of information under this article. The administration has explained that under the Spain Agreement, provision of any information is on a voluntary basis, and the article does not in any way oblige Hong Kong to provide information. In practice, Hong Kong has from time to time received spontaneous information from its counterparts in relation to offences which may be connected to Hong Kong. Mr. President, the subcommittee has no objection to the Spain order. Mr. President, I'd like to express my personal views in the following. Just now, when I referred to the report of the subcommittee, I had expressed a concern, and that is whether terrorist offense should be excluded from the offense of a political character. Although I understand that this is the international judicial trend, however, under what circumstances should terrorist offenses be excluded or included in relation to offenses of a political character? I have read some recent case laws. In fact, the scope is not very clear. Of course, I know this is the major international trend. Many jurisdictions are of the view that general terrorist offenses should be excluded from offenses of a political character. However, there are specific scenarios and specific circumstances which may cause terrorist offenses to be in a position similar to offenses of political character, and that there should not be any extradition and there should not be any mutual legal assistance. And in such circumstances, that we need to go through 2 hurdles for terrorist offences to be excluded from offences of a political character. That is, for example, if the Hong Kong government is to reject the request of a requester party, in this case Spain, that is, if the counterpart is of the view that it constitutes a terrorist offense, then although we don't share the same view, it may be difficult for us to refuse assistance. And also, when the court has to consider whether an offense is such that there should be no extradition or assistance, after the passing of the subsidiary legislation, which excludes terrorist offences from offences of a political character, a Hong Kong court has to consider an extra limb. To put it simply, more consideration has to be given as to whether such terrorist offense should be subject to extradition proceedings or assistance should be given in such cases. I hope that the courts of Hong Kong, in handling these applications or judicial review cases, would exercise its wisdom to consider the nature of these offences. If these offences are of a political character, although it may also encompass a terrorist element, there should not be any legal assistance or extradition proceedings.
Does any other member wish to speak? If not, I now call upon the Secretary for Security to reply. Mr. President, I thank Mr. James To for his speech, and again I thank the subcommittee for completing the scrutiny under the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Ordinance and for supporting the return of the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Spain order to the Council. As I said, the Spain order is in line with the regulations for mutual legal assistance.
As for the points made by Mr. James To, I believe that courts in Hong Kong, when presented with such cases, would deal with them in accordance with established practices and principles, and they will certainly be handled in a just and a fair manner. I hope the order can be approved so that the agreement between Hong Kong and Spain can be implemented.
I now put the question to you, and that is that the motion moved by the Secretary for Security be passed. Will those in favour please raise their hands? Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of the members present. I declare the motion passed.